Most people focus on what they're buying. Like they've got investments, they're buying stocks, they're buying funds, they've got gold, but they completely ignore the wrapper it sits in. Imagine you're building a house in a storm and the ISA is your roof. Guess what? The government's going to take a huge chunk out of your hard work every single year if you don't have a solid roof. Today we're looking at the ISA Elite. I've gone through the statistics, HMRC, ISA statistics, and the reports from platforms like Interactive Investor to show you the top 1% of UK investors, to show you how they're doing. We're going to look at the average ISA balance by age, so you'll find this useful to see where you fall here. I'm going to also show you how many people have actually hit the millionaire mark in 2026. Now, Harry and Amara. Harry's a hype chaser. Amara is a shield builder. What does that mean? Harry's always looking for the next big 20 times stock value. He made 20k last year on a trading app, but because he didn't use an ISA, he's now hiding and handing over a massive chunk of that back to capital gains tax, because you made profit, you need to pay tax on that. Amara earns less on her investments, like maybe 5-6%, but she's done it inside her ISA. It's like a shield. She keeps every single penny. Is it better to earn more and pay tax, or is it better to earn less and keep all of it? The national benchmarks, I'm going to come back to that in a second. Harry and Amara, you'll be intrigued, riveting stuff. So individual savings account is what ISA stands for. There was one individual savings statistics launched and released in 2025, early 2026. The average ISA balance in the UK across all types, like cash and stocks and shares, because you can have either one, is roughly about £28,500. If you have more than £50,000 in an ISA, you are in the 20% of UK savers, like top 20%. So if you got more than 50k in an ISA, mate, you is doing it right. If you have more than 100k, you are officially entering the upper tier of British investors. You is up there, mate, with the elite of the elite. Okay, interestingly, the honest data shows that more people have cash ISAs than stock ISAs, stocks and shares ISAs. But the holders of balances that are there on average is 3 times larger. Cash is for safety, the ISA wrapper is like for wealth. Now, the ISA Millionaires. I've got AJ Bell Millionaire Report 2025-2026. As of 2026, there are now estimated to be over 5,000 ISA millionaires in the UK. Are you one of those 5,000? What do you have in yours? I'm not going to ask you that. What do you want to have in yours? I think if you put a bit of money away in an ISA, you is actually enjoying life. Are you anywhere close to that? So the main thing here is, if you're one of the 5,000, they aren't genius traders. The data shows that they max out investments. They're consistently using the £20,000 every year. So if you use the allowance every year for 20 plus years, you didn't get rich quick, did you? You're building up. You got rich because you could refuse to pay tax on their growth. So you don't want to pay tax on your money. So if you do that for 10 years, 20, interest comes in, you get interest on interest, you get, good returns on returns, you build the pot bigger. There is a tax leak test here as well. So something to think about. I want you to look at any money you have sitting in standard savings accounts or basic like trading app. If you are like a high rate taxpayer, you only get I think it's £500 now, isn't it, for personal savings allowance, before you start paying 40% tax on your interest. So it's just interest upon interest upon interest. That's why I'm seeing all this news. Loads of people are leaving the UK worried about tax. Weigh up the cost with the security and the lifestyle and see which is better for you. Because if you have £20,000 in a 5% savings account, you're making £1,000 a year in interest. That's like a real value example to get you around understanding it. In a standard account, you're giving £200 of that to the government. In an ISA, you keep it all. So that 200 goes on top of your savings. You get interest on the interest, and slowly, apparently, it makes more and more. But remember, as you make more and more money, you're getting older at the same time. So don't get stuck into putting loads of money in there for 20 years, and those millionaires probably can't spend some of that money now because they're old and they want to buy, I don't know, they want to go and do a ski trip holiday, but they're really old, so they can't anymore. So saving to an extent, but don't, if you got the money and you want to do something, don't put it off until you can't do it anymore. So there's like swings and roundabouts. Oof, yeah, I'm going on a tangent now, aren't I? So is an ISA, you keep it all. Over 20 years, that leak costs you like compounding interest, and are you paying like a lazy tax? I don't know. So the ISA reset, the bed and ISA. So selling assets to move them into the tax wrapper. Should you move money across to the ISA? In 2026, rules allow you to move flexibility. So you can now spend 20K across multiple providers of the same type. So for example, the top 1% like aren't just saving, they are optimizing. They make sure not a single pound of their interest is visible to HMRC because they put it in like a wrapper. So they use stocks and shares. They have a ISA. You can have a number of ISAs between different providers as long as you don't go over the limit for that year. So it's like, it's interesting stuff. It's a deep topic. I'm not like a financial expert or anything. I'm using the data that's there and just seeing what I can make of it. So remember we talked about Harry. Harry eventually realized he was running a race with a backpack full of bricks, mate. Every time he made money, the weight of the tax got heavier. Some people just don't realize, like they've earned the money. They thought, oh yeah, I made 20K on the trading 212 app, not advertised. And then they discover at the end of the year on your tax return, there's a section there clearly saying, have you made money in any other ways? You have to say, yes, mate, I made 20K from this. Add that to your tax bill. You're not getting away with it. You got to pay it. That's the way, mate. So he's basically getting to a point now, weight of the taxes is getting heavier, but Amara was running light. By 2026, her ISA was paying her more in tax-free dividends than her actual job. Think about it. It's not about how much you make. It's about how much you are allowed to keep, how much cost is involved in making that money. The top 1% understand that the best. Investment return you can get is the one that the government can't touch. And if the ISA is there, it's like a legal thing to do. It's not like hiding anything. It's just you're putting money in a way to save and you get tax benefit. You don't pay it. Put a roof on your house before the storm hits, because tax and ISAs and savings is a huge pot. And I feel like we can have so many different options there. But this report was very interesting. I'll put a link in the show notes. You can have a look at it. I'll jump to like the main core numbers, but there's a lot more detail there. Considering the breakdown, like if you make more than £50,000 in an ISA, you are in the top 20% of UK savers. That's good. If you have more than £100,000, you're officially entering the upper tier of British investors. So consider yourself at home. Consider yourself one of the family. If you're paying tax on savings, then you need to consider this. This is the money scorecard. Well done. You have made it up to episode 6 with me now. We are going through these little information snippets. I feel like it's good to keep an eye on what's going on. And you will see that there's different ways of doing this, but you need to keep yourself ready for an emergency. I think in the next episode, we're going to look at the emergency fund scale and what's going on there. Are people saving enough? Have we got enough if something goes wrong? We touched on this in earlier episodes. But I'm glad you're here with me. And let's jump on it, shall we? What's one question you're stuck on right now? Contact me on zulftalks.com. You could drop me a message on Insta or email me there. If you want, you could even put your answer below this episode in the comment section. I read through every single one and it helps me shape the shows. So it'll be good to hear from you.
Working for yourself, I know you love it. Working for yourself, 'cause I love it too. Working for yourself, Zulf talks about it, making it easy for you. Working for yourself, go be your own boss. Working for yourself, Zulf will help you along. Working for yourself, powered by trusted creators, zulftalks.com.